Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. This one will be fairly short because the market is going crazy right now. This is a chart of BTC USD, obviously still very high time frame bullish. Here is a chart that I showed of what a established range looks like. In general, you need a big move down or a big move up, depending on the context, in order for a range to begin. And in this case here, I was looking for a negative 20% up to 20% pullback. We got around that from the peak. And this is really encouraging if you guys are looking for any sort of alt season or alt pump, because in general, this is the catalyst that you need for a range to begin, is a big move down. Price needs to fill out the inefficiencies on both ends. So we might have just seen our established trading range in general. It might go from 28 to 35K. I would expect tests of both ends of the spectrum in general. It's also certainly possible that this dips a little further down. It's not out of the question that this goes to 25,000 or so. If that happens, that's totally okay. High time frame. Like, I still think that Bitcoin is not going to go to like $10,000 or something in the short term. Fully expecting some sort of reaccumulation or something like that over the course of many months. But as of right now, this was a dump, and I expect price to range here. So in the next few days, I wouldn't be surprised to see altcoins do very well. And this is very encouraging if you are an altcoin trader, in my opinion. It's short-term pain, but in my opinion, it's going to be pretty well worth it. Just my opinion. So here's BTC USD. Again, this might have just been the established range. We will see more if this has another leg down. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see, for one, I mean, this was an inefficient move. If you've read my tweets recently, then you've seen some of those tweets about inefficient moves. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see price grind a little higher. And this is a supply zone on, I'm sure, several time frames, but it makes sense that price would make its way back up to 33K, and it's also approaching kind of an interesting area now too. But this was the last up candle before a big down move, and I'm expecting there to be some sort of reaction here. It wouldn't surprise me at all, as I said, to see this come up and then react. There's probably not a bad idea to consider shorting here, short scalping, to start averaging in around this area. But we're going to see. I'm not going to personally short just because market structure is still very bullish, in my opinion. But I think we are going to see some sort of reaction around the 33K area. So, yeah, my overall high time frame bullish or bias on Bitcoin is very bullish still, but I personally am still watching and waiting. If there's another leg down, that's totally fine, in my opinion. The more violence, the better in terms of the short-term time frame, just because I want to get this over with. I want to see this full range established. And to me, it would be encouraging to see a big range established in the short term, just because this would allow altcoins to run. So yeah, it looks good to me still, and we'll see what happens at 33K, but this is encouraging for altcoin traders, myself included. ETH USD, this, of course, is still the same idea that ETH has gone 100% from the December bottoms in the preceding months after. This wicked all the way up to nearly 1,200, which it just looks incredible. I did not see that overnight. So still really good movements there. High sell volume. I expect ETH in general, to follow Bitcoin, I did have the idea that ETH was going to uh, be a better play than Bitcoin in the very short term and potentially longer term, as in 1 or 2 months. I'm still uncertain about that. I mean, Bitcoin reached all-time high levels very easily and obviously blew past the 20K mark. It makes sense to me that Ethereum would do the same, but typically the two follow each other in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But as I said before in other tweets, there are time periods where Ethereum does outpace Bitcoin certain times of the year, and this is usually one of them. Ethereum usually gains a little more than BTC during these time periods typically, and that's reflected on the ETH BTC chart as well. So my overall impression of Ethereum is that I still think that this probably will do better than Bitcoin over the next few months, as in like maybe 1 or 2 months. But after that, I really think that Bitcoin will go on a moon mission and probably outpace nearly all altcoins for the most part. So we'll see if Ethereum can outgain Bitcoin in the next 2 months or so. I think personally it will, but I'm not. The two usually follow each other for the most part. Here's Ethereum BTC. This is a chart on Coinbase. This tapped the EQ. Maybe this is the start here. And as I said before, ETH BTC does usually increase starting in December, and that means that Ethereum does outpace Bitcoin during those time periods. ETH BTC has been in the same consolidation range for quite some time, and we'll see if this eventually can break out of this 0.3037 area. ETH BTC is generally a good macro indicator for altcoins, and we are going to see if this is actually going to break out of the range. If it does, then there's a lot of inefficiencies to fill up higher. I would say like 0.05 is like the first significant level, both from a psychological perspective and just from a TA perspective as well. But we're going to see if this can break out of it. If it does, then I feel really good for all altcoins. And so 0.037 is like kind of the area that I'm really targeting right now. In the short term overall, I'm still really bullish on many altcoins from more of a 2-week plus perspective timeline. But for now, in the short term, it could be very high volatility depending on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin makes another leg down, then I expect alt USD pairs to basically really suffer along with Bitcoin. And that's fine, again, because I expect the buybacks to be very quick. So some altcoins that I'm personally going to be looking to buy dips on is DOT. I think that DOT is still an excellent project in general. I think that I'm still looking to buy dips. I'm still hoping to get in the 750 or so range to add to my bag. But, I mean, overall, this still looks really bullish in general. Like, you still see, like, strong trend lines in general. You still see really nice volume coming in. It's still a really bullish coin, but it wouldn't surprise me to see this pull back a little bit more. And I'm sure if I fib this out, there would be some interesting levels here. So let's do it now, I guess, since I'm here. 775 or so. 778. This is kind of the area. A little lower. $7 to 778. This is a good area to buy, in my opinion. This would be a very solid area. Yep. Looking to add for DOT. Looking to add to like SNX. Link, I'm still neutral on. I mean, it still looks good. This is the range that we're playing basically here. Range high, range low. And price is trading right near the equilibrium or the middle. So I'm not really adding or taking away anything, but Again, all USD pairs are going to mainly follow Bitcoin for the most part, but in the short term that is, but I expect them to outpace Bitcoin if there is an alt pump in the next few weeks, which I expect there to be still. LTC USD, another good major here. This chewed through that sell liquidity that I was talking about before, and it retested the same area. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see this go to some higher areas. It looks like 230 would be like the next area up after this area gets cleared. I think it's almost certainly going to get cleared. 230 seems very likely for LTC. And yeah, I mean LTC still looks really good. If there is going to be a pullback, something like 130 would be an interesting level, and then there's also some other support regions lower. Some areas like $100 is obviously the significant psychological area. I wouldn't expect $100 though unless Bitcoin falls, that makes another big leg down. Personally, I think it's more likely that this would fall down to 140 or something like that, or I'm sorry, 135 if Bitcoin has a short-term pullback and then move higher. But $100 or so will get tested, in my opinion, if Bitcoin goes to 24K or lower. So overall, this was a quick market review, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. You can ask whatever kind of question you want in terms of the market, and I'll try to get to it. Thanks, guys.